Welcome to School Zone, the show all about your local school districts here in the White Mountains. I'm your host, John Larsen. Today we have two people with us. We've got Cory Gillespie, who is our one of our high school math teachers. But more importantly, today we got him here to talk about the Robotics Club, and he's one of the two Robotics Club mentors. We also have Mr. Aaron Cosgray, who is the other club mentor. Welcome, guys. I'm really glad you're here. We had your club at not the last board meeting, but the board meeting before, and I was so impressed with the kids in the club and impressed with you guys and what you do with them. I just had to have you on the show, so I'm glad you're here today. Cory, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go to Aaron.
All right, well, I grew up in Phoenix. My father was military. I went to ASU. I got a mechanical engineering degree from ASU.
Ah, nice.
I have a master's in education from Grand Canyon, and I'm almost done with PhD at Grand Canyon.
Really?
As well.
Excellent. Yeah, I graduated from Grand Canyon. So
Yeah,
yeah, what does that
place.
make us?
Alumni,
Brothers?
yeah,
Kinda? I don't know. Cool, cool. How long ago did you move to Sholo?
Moved to Sholo last year, so I've
Okay.
been here 2 years. I've been up here fishing and hunting for years, and finally said, why keep driving?
That's
Just
the
live
same
here.
reason I moved here. Exactly. Spend all my spare time here. Why not live here, right?
Why not do it? Yeah.
Yeah, great, cool. Mr. Cosgray.
Well, thanks for having us today, John. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that. I am Aaron Cosgray, and I'm originally from the Tucson area. I had my wife and I, my wife is the principal at Linden Elementary, and we moved up here a couple of years ago after our youngest son graduated from high school. Instead of kicking them out, we kicked ourselves out, found a way to get up here, and this community has been a place that I have come to since I was a very small child. Hunting and fishing up here is one of the main reasons, and it's been really good, and the community's been very welcoming to me as I've gotten up here.
Great. Great. Well, I don't know the two of you very well, but the fact that all three of us have some things in common is really great. I mean, the perfect haircut.
Correct.
And, you know, age will
Getting
get you there. Yeah. So, tell me, what is when we refer to the Robotics Club and whatnot? We refer to it as FIRST. Tell me what FIRST is.
FIRST is the organization that we're a part of. There's many organizations. There's a VEX and there's FIRST. We operate under the FIRST Robotics umbrella.
Okay.
FIRST stands for, Aaron knows this.
For inspiration and recognition of science and technology. It was founded by Dean Kamen in 1989. Dean Kamen is better known for inventing the Segway and
really?
some home diabetic pumps.
Okay.
He came up with this group in 1989 to help students be better prepared for college, a way for them to challenge themselves in high school, be more interested in those areas of study, science, technology, engineering, and math. And the goal was then to get them into college, get them into the workforce where they would then make differences in our world. And those things have happened. There are parts on the Lunar Curiosity or the Mars Curiosity rover that were built by high school students.
Really?
I'm just amazed every day by the intelligence and the ability to think forward that comes out of this. The group was founded so that kids had a way to look at a problem and solve that problem. And when they figure out that they can, they gain a confidence in themselves that allows them to tackle on any project and come up with a solution that works for everybody.
Very cool. So what are the goals? What are the goals of FIRST?
Well, the goals of FIRST are to inspire young people to be innovators, to be leaders in their communities, to be innovators on the world stage, to come up with new and improved ways of doing things, whether it be finding ways to make safe drinking water for the world, or just as something as simple as a new medical machine that can help people to live more comfortably.
Well, we know that over, I don't know, maybe you can give me a better time frame. I mean, 20 years, certainly, the things that we do now that we didn't do 20 years ago, you know? I mean, it's just amazing where technology is going. And obviously that's the direction we're headed. And so I was just amazed at the brightness of the kids that came to see us at the board meeting. It was so great. And I felt really inferior. I really did. I was just so impressed.
Try being us.
Yeah, well, I feel inferior to you. So tell me about the club. What makes this club different than a sports team or a sports club or any of the other clubs that we have in our district? Because we have a number of them.
Yeah, this club very much focuses on taking what you have and building it better. An awesome thing we like to say is 100% of our students in this club are going to go professional. So they might not go to college, but they're going to do what they do in high school for a profession to better this world. Aaron's had kids that go on to be machinists and make tons of money. I've had kids that went to Notre Dame and they've been engineers and they've taken it to the next level. So no matter where their niche is, this club will get them to go pro, where other sports cannot do that.
Okay, cool, great. I'm a Notre Dame fan, so that's cool. Yeah, good to hear that. So along with that, what is a student expect to gain from being a part of this club?
Students can hope to gain a self-confidence, and especially in this group. This group, when you think of robotics or math or science, you think of nerds. And the word...
I'm glad you said it and I didn't.
Sure.
When you guys came to see us, that was the first thing I thought of. I thought, you know, when I was in high school, we would have called these guys nerds.
Sure,
and we probably would have been disrespectful to them.
Yeah.
And I just sat there in awe and the respect that I had and the fact that, you know, these guys are not nerds. These guys are studs.
But they are nerds, and they wear that connotation proudly. To them, it is not a negative thing. That is who they are, and they embrace it. When the championship tournament takes place in Houston and in Detroit, it takes place in a football arena, a professional football arena with 70,000 nerds there. And it is the greatest gathering of intelligence that you'll ever see.
Awesome.
That is cool.
Yeah, FIRST itself has some 615,000 students, grades K through 12, on 72,000 teams in over 100 countries. So it is not just
America.
It is a worldwide movement, and it has the potential to make yours and mine and Cory's lives easier as we move
and
on.
our children's, right?
Definitely.
Definitely. So, how does Cougar Pride Robotics impact our community through outreach? What do you guys do?
So first of all, we focus on something called gracious professionalism. Okay. Not only are we teaching our kids skills
Interesting two words put together there.
Yeah, so we're teaching them not only, hey, you have to be smart and you have to do this, but this is the behavior that we expect out of students. Out of when you go into the industry, you will behave a certain way. You'll be gracious and you will help others in what you do. You will be here to better the world, not just yourself. And this focus on not just you're building robots, you're learning math, but you're being a better citizen is also very creative and helpful for these students that have never seen this before.
Yeah, the students will help mentor other students within their own school. They go and they'll do presentations for the local Boy Scout clubs and help them earn badges that way.
Oh, cool.
Our team currently mentors
six
VEX teams, two of them at Linden Elementary and 4 at the public library.
So when you say VEX teams, what are you talking about?
VEX is another type of robotics program.
Okay.
To me and Cory, it's the minor leagues. It's really small stuff. It's kit of parts. It's really easy to build.
So these are the younger kids, elementary school age
it's
kids?
Perfect for elementary and junior high school kids.
Okay.
To definitely get them started on the engineering process and how to problem solve and critical think.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, you know, I was thinking about that while you were talking. I'm thinking this is really a great opportunity for a younger person to develop critical thinking.
Sure.
Yes.
Which, you know, is a big deal when you go to college. You know, that's really where they want you to go, where you're dissecting things and figuring out the whys and the hows.
Thinking differently.
Absolutely.
Yes.
One thing that we get as we get older, we get this tunnel vision. I get up on Monday, I go to work to Friday, and I get off and I pay bills and I eat and I go to bed.
Right.
That's our life.
Right.
And if a problem comes up, we go, okay, well, how can how do I fix that? And you only go through the normal ways that you would go to fix
How
that.
you've been taught in the past to do it is
Right.
your
These
limitation.
students, there is no tunnel, there is no box that they work within. Everything is something completely new and unique, and Cory and I's job is to then take those ideas and say, okay, how is this feasible within the club? Is this something that can be done in the time frame that we have? Is this something that can be done with the monetary budgets that we have? That type of stuff. It's these students have minds that just are waiting to be tapped, and this club allows them to think without any boundaries.
Oh, cool. I love the fact that you know, I may be off base. I hope I can bring this in, but you know, when you have like a brainstorming session,
Yeah.
even the dumbest idea that comes out of that might spawn the idea that fixes the problem.
Most certainly.
Right? And
that's
so
al-
I'm assuming that's what
That's almost
happens with you guys.
exactly how we describe it to them, is that you got somebody new coming in, you don't look at them for what their grade point average is, you look at them for what they can contribute, well, no matter how big or small that problem is.
Even if it's one
Yep.
word,
Yeah.
it could then lead
Yes.
to the solution, right?
Solution, most
And that is so great. So great. Wow, that's cool. I almost want to go back and be a part of this. You know, I mean, we didn't have, when I was in high school, we didn't.
No.
Well, we
have
didn't
these
either,
things.
so yeah.
You know, we didn't even talk about it. I mean, we didn't, robots, you know, we were talking about movies, you
Right,
know. I mean,
right.
when Star Wars came out, those were, you know, or Lost in Space, you know, when I
Right.
was a little kid.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just think this is so cool. We talked a little bit about the parameters that you work in. What's a season look like to you guys? When we talk about your club, you've got a season. What's that season look like? What requirements do you have? What do you have to do in the time frames in which you have to do it?
And we're transitioning right now. The last 2 years, we've ran an FTC team, which is traditionally like a JV or freshman level team at a sports team. We're
Okay.
transitioning into FRC, which would be like your varsity league.
Okay.
So we are transitioning into this, and it looks a lot different. Aaron has done it in the past.
I ran a team in Tucson for 10 years, and it's much more problem oriented. The first semester is usually spent fundraising. It's spent teaching students how to use tools like lathes and mills and how to weld. It's not just coding a robot on a computer.
Yeah.
We
By
teach
the
these-
way, these kids literally build
From scratch.
from the
From
ground
scratch,
up, right?
correct, yes.
So the fact that they have to learn how to use a lathe or a
Mill and
Mill.
weld, yep.
or a plasma cutter, I'm
Sure,
assuming
sure,
that's an
absolutely,
option.
yep.
They've got to learn how to use those
These
and then
tools.
find the materials that
Correct.
they need, use those materials, create the whole thing from scratch.
Correct.
Yes.
I would have no clue how to do that. I mean, I have a hard time building a fence,
Right.
you know, at my house.
Yeah, it's amazing to watch them think the process through. We teach them, and like back to the season, the first semester is spent teaching them the engineering process. We start here, we identify the problem, we find a way to fix it, we then prototype, and then we build, and then we test, and we build, and we test until we have what we need. So that's the first semester. Second semester, our kickoff starts the first Saturday in January, and we learn what the problem is. It's announced worldwide to all the teams in the world, and we learn what that problem is going to be.
Really?
And from that moment on, we have only 6 weeks to design, test, build, test, program, test, and
Practice
then compete,
driving
and
it.
and then compete.
And then compete.
To give you an example, I had other mentors that worked for Raytheon in Tucson, and for them, an actual engineering process on a problem takes about 12 years. We give these kids 6 weeks to take a problem and then go compete on a world stage.
Wow.
And they do it amazingly.
They do.
It's quite impressive. So our build season is for 6 weeks. We meet Monday through Friday with Thursdays off. We usually go from 4:30 till about 9 o'clock. Saturdays will go from 8 till 2. We give them the Thursday off because most homework is due on Friday, so we give them a chance.
To get
They
caught up.
get out of school, they spend the first hour doing homework. Requirements for us is that we expect a little bit more for them. District requirements is a C or C average to participate. We require a B average and no Fs. So if they have straight A's and they have one F, they still can't be on the team.
Okay.
But that's the unique thing about this club is if one person is struggling, there's somebody there to help them and figure it out.
Cool.
We have somebody in every type of, every class that is
Every
offered
class offered at
that's
school.
really good at it.
Yeah.
And so they can help the other students
Very cool.
to get beyond
So
it.
teamwork beyond the team, right?
Correct.
Teamwork to
So-
keep ourselves passing in such
Right,
a busy
wow.
build season. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. I don't ever remember anybody on the football team offering to help me with my
Right.
math.
Right?
Yeah.
That is great. How do you mentioned a little bit earlier about needing to prepare. One of the things you said was prepare financially.
Yes.
I want to know what do you have to do financially to sustain this club?
This club is a very expensive club. Just going to one tournament costs $5,000. Our second tournament of the year is $4,000. And that's not even building the robot. We have expensive tooling, we have materials, we have expensive electronics. They run on motorcycle batteries. We need dozens of those. And it's just expensive. We have to feed the kids, food budget. I think last year we spent $3,300 in hotels. And so it runs up a pretty quick tab. In order for us to do this, we do it in multiple other ways. We have grants. We write a lot of grants. Students help write those. And then we go to community members and businesses, and we ask for sponsors. We put them on our T-shirts. We put them on our robot. And that's how we sustain this program.
Okay. So obviously you're looking for help.
Always, yes.
From anybody who's willing to sponsor. So we want to take this opportunity, or at least I do. I want to take this opportunity to ask the community out there, especially those who are on the cutting edge of technology that are, we got a lot of areas are moving into robotics. And so if there's anybody out there, we want them obviously to help us out, and to help these kids
Absolutely.
to be successful, help prepare them literally for the
their
future. Yeah, for their lives. And who knows? I mean, just like you said, at some point in my life, I may have to rely on something that one of these kids
Invents.
come up with.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
How cool is that? So from here out, what are your goals moving forward with this club?
So for me, this is my 12th year doing this. I volunteer. I've had students go through it, but this is a volunteer thing for me, and I don't have any intention of leaving it anytime soon. For me, the goal is to see it, and I kind of share this goal with the founder of First, Dean Kamen, is that we want to see this on a national level that is looked at as the premier. This is as big as a Super Bowl is, we want to see the championship looked at like that. District-wise, we want to see the programs in the elementary school, in the junior high. We want to see feeder programs so that by the time they get into high school, we have
They've had this
well-prepared
experience.
students that are ready to take it to the next level. Honestly, I know that Cory and I feel the same way. We'd like to see it taught in school as an engineering course through First. First offers a ton of information on this curriculum that can help start these classes and make them successful. That way, it's not all after school, and we can open it up to more students.
Reach more kids than our current program can.
So in order to do that, in order to have it taught as a class, what would you have to do?
We just
Where
need
would we go?
exposure. We need to have exposure and have people buy into our program. People buy into sports programs. There's sports classes in high school because they've seen the value over 50, 100 years of this being in the community. This is cutting edge, so nobody really knows what we do and how we influence it. So education is our key here.
Would this be a CTE class?
It could definitely be a CTE.
It could be?
Yes.
So we're talking, who do we talk to get minds thinking about this in a
Well, I think we're talking to
CTE?
you, obviously. We've talked to the administration at the school.
They're aware?
Yes.
Superintendent specifically?
Not the superintendent.
Haven't gotten to that level yet.
That's part of our Cory and my plan is to get the superintendent on board with this 100%.
Okay, so I know him, and so I could probably introduce you. And so when you're in a position where you want to go there, you let me know.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I agree. I mean, this would be, I'm assuming that even if it's not a CTE course, there is some way that we can make it, I mean, even into a mathematics where it could possibly fulfill a mathematics requirement, right?
Sure.
Or a science requirement or something like that. So that's really something I think that needs to be investigated and looked at. So that would be awesome. What else? What else have you got for me? I mean, I'm really, like I said, when I saw the kids come and present, I was so excited and excited for them and proud of them and really impressed with the way that they presented themselves and delivered their presentation.
And
I just thought
for
it was
them
so
to present
great.
that way is a lot of work because traditionally these type of students struggle with interactions and social interactions. So we have really built them to that level. That's where we can polish them off there at the end and give them real world skills. In every job they have, they're going to need to communicate.
And
they can't
make
just be good.
presentations, right?
Without a doubt. They get judged at competition. They sit in front of a room of industry professionals, whether it's the CEO of Microchip Technologies out of the Valley or the former founder of Apple. It was Apple, right? Yeah, it was Apple.
I believe so, yeah.
You might need to scratch that one.
That's okay.
Yeah, but Steve Wozniak was a judge on one of the teams that I had.
Really?
They're actually they present to these industry professionals, and they have to perform at an exceptional level. There's a award that's presented at a competition that is more important than whether they win the competition or not. It's called the Chairman's Award, and that award is the most prestigious award they can get, and it's based on what they do outside of the club. It's based on how they present to their community.
Community
Are they
outreach.
able to get more people involved in this?
Okay.
So that Chairman's Award is the most prestigious award that a team can get, and it has nothing to do with building a robot. That's what we're trying to get out there, is this idea that we do build robots, and we build some really cool robots. I should say our students do. But the life skills that we're teaching these kids is something that's going to follow them through life.
Yeah, as a teenager, I'm not sure that I could have put together a presentation, let alone had the ability to present it. And so I'm looking at these. I mean, what a character builder. I mean, it's got to increase their self-worth.
Without a doubt.
And their what they think they can or can't do. And if you open up to a kid's mind that nothing's impossible,
then they can change the world.
Yeah, in a positive way.
Absolutely.
Wow.
We've had a couple of students come through the program they're the troublemaker. They're the ones that are having problems. They don't fit in a classroom because they'd rather fight. They'd rather skip school. They come into our program because they find a spot where they can fit in, and all of a sudden our expectations of them are such that they can't do that anymore.
And it changes the direction.
Yeah,
most certainly.
right?
And in the board presentation, you heard our last two. Those were two that we have traditionally struggled in school. Struggled being a part of society even, and now we're hoping to make an influence on their life.
Wow, inspirational, guys. That word keeps coming to my mind. I mean, it's inspiring to me, and the biggest reason that I got into being a school board member was because I wanted to make a difference, a positive difference in the children's education. And so when I see our staff doing the things that you guys are doing, it is inspiring. And I am extremely grateful for what you do. And if it's okay, I wanna make sure that I extend the invitation. I've really enjoyed having you guys on today. I've loved it. I've really enjoyed what we've talked about. It's been educational. But I'd love to have your kids come on next month. I'd like you to come bring a couple of kids.
Sure,
On the show. Let's talk to them. Maybe if they could bring a robot that we can have them, run a little bit. We can get a little footage about the robot. They can tell us how they made it, the parts that comprise. I don't,
Sure.
Whatever.
Sure, absolutely.
We'll get together and see if we can come up with another show and show the community a little bit more specifically what you guys do.
About their journey. That'd be awesome.
I think
Absolutely.
that'd be great. I'd also like to extend an invitation to you that on our kickoff, the first Saturday in January, we like to invite community people to come in and help us brainstorm. So you can see the process, and you might bring that one idea that
You mind
changes it.
you mind if I extend that invitation to the board and to the
Anybody you want to
superintendent?
bring.
The whole community, anyone
Yep.
who wants to show up that might have an idea. That first day we find out what our challenge is.
Okay, so first Saturday in January, do you have a time, a more specific time?
Usually starts, we get everybody together around 8 o'clock, kind of break
8
up
a.m.?
into groups. We'll get the kickoff presentation starts around 9,
Okay, and so where are we meeting?
to be determined.
To be determined.
Okay, so you guys are going to have to get back to me
Correct.
on that.
Yeah,
okay?
absolutely.
Because we'll use this forum as a way to get some of that information out.
excellent.
Okay, cool. So next month, third Wednesday,
I like it.
I'll see you back here with the
Perfect.
kids.
Excellent.
Sounds good.
Excellent, thanks. I appreciate it.
you.
Thank you,
John.
Cory. Appreciate you. With that, thanks for joining us here on School Zone, and we'll see you again soon.